in a rags to riches story, very, very unique. From prostitute to terror of the seas of South China, this is the story of Ching Shih. Hopefully I've not butchered that. Okay, so who was King Shih? She was born in 1775 in the Chinese province of Guangdong. All we know about her is that she used to work possibly as a prostitute in a brothel. And it is in that brothel that she encountered Zhang He. Some legends say that Zhang He proposed to her. Some others say that Zhang He actually raided the brothel and that's how he found her. Anyway, they actually ended up being married. Now, who was Zhang He? And this story is particularly important because Zhang He was the commander of the so-called Red Flag Fleet. The Red Flag Fleet was basically, in few words, just a bunch of pirates that were put together and they were, electing, or Zhang He was in charge of them. They were pretty much just a bunch of pirates because when they met, the Red Flag Fleet only could count 1,700, 1,800 people. So it wasn't necessarily this big deal. And yes, they were pirates because they were operating outside of the laws and the government, that would be the Chinese government. So they were kind of like just pillaging different villages in the south of China, and that was mostly their activity. But anyway, let's go back one second to Ching Shih. And what happened was that they get married. At the time, again, they only had this less than 2,000 people, 200 ships. So not a big deal. And we are in 1804 when the Red Flag Fleet encounters and basically acquires fleets that are coming from a blockade of a Portuguese trading port at Macau. When this fleet issues a blockade of the Portuguese trading port of Macau, Macau even nowadays is very well known for the influence of Portuguese and Portuguese culture, besides casinos and stuff like that. But anyway, the point here is that that kind of attack actually allowed them to enrich their own fleet. And things kept going better and better. Why? Because the fleet kept on enlarging itself, kept on recruiting more and more people, or making more businesses, if you want to call it like that. It was mostly raiding and pillaging. But anyway, they became richer and richer and even larger as a fleet. 6 years into the marriage, we are in 1807. There's a battle. There's a Tai Son rebellion in Vietnam, and that is the point where, point in time and also geographically, where Zhang He died. So they only had 6 years of marriage, and that was it. And at that point, Ching Shih acquired all the power. She actually became the commander of the fleet. Yes, she did use Chang Pao, who later would become her husband, as the commander of the entire squadron. But she was the one dictating the rules. At this point, this fleet was no longer 1,800 people. This fleet counted 50,000. Some sources say even 70,000-80,000 people. So it was extremely large and extremely uncontrollable, because that amount of people is so hard to keep under control under the same rule. But she managed, and she was wonderful. And you could see that this is a woman dictating the rules, because she elaborated a strict code of conduct. And there are things in this code of conduct that only a woman can actually deliver from her head. Okay, so first of all, she said anything that comes in terms of income, in terms of money, in terms of riches, first must be registered, and then, only then, can be redistributed, right? That is, of course, to avoid corruption, to allow a more equal distribution among the parents, and stuff like that, right? And then, attractive women can be kept on board. Ugly women will be rejected again onto the land. No harm will be done to ugly women. Attractive women can be kept on board. Parents can marry those women. However, infidelity and raping is not allowed. If something like that happens, then the parent has to abandon the fleet. Also, his ears will be cut. Which is like, okay. Alright, that's a little too much maybe, but okay. The idea was to promote a culture of loyalty. It wasn't just a loyalty to her, it was also loyalty among themselves and to their women. And I think she managed pretty well to do that. We also have to say that she sank 63 Chinese vessels at one point in time, which was amazing. And her ability, or her set of abilities, of skills, was actually what led her to exit at a certain point the Red Flag Fleet when the Emperor struck a deal with her. But in the deal, she got amnesty. She got the possibility of living a civilian life. She got the bargain that, like, her wealth will not be touched, so like her wealth remained absolutely intact. She ended up, as I was saying, married Pao, and opening up a series of gambling houses until death arrived in 1844. I thought this was like an amazing story of an amazing woman, you know. Sometimes life takes really a weird turn, and that was for her, but you know, it wasn't in her cards. Not many women would be capable of managing, not even many men, right? But if we think that it's 19th century, if we think that she's a woman, if we think that this is a masculine society, chauvinistic, where women were not considered, if we think about the fact that she was a prostitute, if we think about the kind of field, right, that was at the time the fleet, this is an amazing story. Anyway, I hope somebody out there can be inspired by the stories, and of course, please comment below, let us know your thoughts. Looking forward to reading all your thoughts, and if you have enjoyed the video, don't forget to like and subscribe. We'll talk some more next time. Bye!